Here's a great and radical idea. Everyone in America should have access to safe and affordable housing. Everyone in America should have access to safe and affordable housing. That's a vision I know many people share, and it's a core part of the mission here at Fannie Mae. But the fact is, the average share of an American's income that's going towards housing expense is on the rise. And for many, that percentage is so high that they have very little money remaining for things like food, transportation, maintenance, which could lead to an unsafe home. We all have a duty to serve, to address these concerns as best we can. I use that phrase, duty to serve, on purpose because it's the name of a job given to us by Congress to focus on 3 specific markets, all of which relate to the challenge of creating safe and affordable homes. Those 3 areas are manufactured housing, affordable preservation, and rural housing. I'm absolutely thrilled to take on these challenges along with my colleagues here at Fannie Mae. Our company is uniquely positioned to do it. One way to think of the financial system in Fannie Mae is as a way of building paths between the world of global investors on the one side and the world of those who need to borrow money, like people who want to buy homes, on the other. You and I aren't going to the global investment system to get a mortgage to buy our home, but rather we go to our local lender. But because Fannie Mae and the financial system exists, we build a connection so that it's cheaper and easier for people to be able to buy homes and get mortgages. But sometimes, like in these 3 areas that we're working on, making that connection is not as easy. But thinking of us as a key path builder, a partner to many, you can see why we're uniquely positioned to bring the right parties together to find innovative solutions to make housing more affordable for everyone.
So our job is to provide investors with the opportunity to safely put private capital to work to support affordable housing in markets across the United States. But not all markets are the same, and some face significant obstacles that make it hard to attract a steady supply of investment. They suffer from extreme poverty, limited economic growth, and poor infrastructure. Many are geographically isolated with limited capabilities for scale or standardization. Others have suffered from long-term disinvestment and a decay of their infrastructure. Some struggle with things that most of us take for granted, things like safe streets, safe homes, and clean drinking water. These markets are underserved because they are the most difficult places to invest in America, and our job is to clear the path, and in some cases make the path, so that it is easier for private capital to arrive safely and get to work. These are the challenges that Fannie Mae was made for. Every day we bring scale and standardization to housing markets across the country. And this allows investment capital from all over the world to create affordable housing opportunities in the United States. But doing more in these markets will be hard, and the stakes are high because these are not esoteric challenges. They impact generations of people, from grandparents to grandkids. So our approach has to be different because what's worked in other markets hasn't worked here. We need to develop a deeper understanding of these underserved areas. And we're going to seek out new partnerships and support the organizations that are already working to address these needs. We're going to be bold and persistent in our approach, and this means we're going to test and we'll learn, and sometimes we'll fail, but we'll repeat the process until we get it right. And finally, we'll remember that our role is to be the path builder. Our intention has never been to hold 5 more meetings or purchase 5 more loans than everyone else, nor has it been to go it alone. That's not our goal. Our goal is to build that path, and then to keep it clear so that private sector investment can go to work in a safe and responsible manner and ensure that all Americans have access to affordable housing opportunities.
So let's start with manufactured housing. We're living in a day and age where there are driverless cars and drones. So it's no surprise that the way homes can be built today has really evolved. But we haven't seen a lot of these new methodologies being widely adopted. Somebody once asked me if I'd rather buy a car that was assembled in my driveway or one that was built in a factory. If you apply that same logic to housing, you can see why manufactured housing is such an interesting idea. And more than a century ago, Henry Ford figured out how to manufacture cars so that they were affordable to every working class family in America. So can we apply that same sense of purpose, that same vision to homes? Now the name can be a little misleading. Manufactured home sounds like plastic home, cookie cutter homes coming off an assembly line. But as it was once described to me by someone who works in one of these factories, they're really homes that are built with the same materials in the same way as anyone else's home, but where they build them, it doesn't rain. So now I'm not talking about tiny homes that you see on TV. Those are technically classified as RVs, but tiny homes are exciting because they show what's possible for the industry when we can build the right pathways. For many people, manufactured housing can be a safe and affordable option. But the way things stand today, it's actually much harder to get a mortgage for a manufactured home. Manufactured homes often sit in communities where you own the unit, but not the land. You rent the land from the community which shares amenities. These homes can look incredible. Granite countertops, hardwood floors, they can be pretty big too. These types of homes can really create a new supply of affordable homes that look like any other home in any other neighborhood. So manufactured housing is a great way to create supply. We also need to think about how to preserve existing affordable housing supply.
So affordable preservation means more than just preserving the housing structure. It's about preserving what makes the home affordable. Now, in some cases, it is the structure, but it could also mean finding ways to make the property more efficient so that it costs less to maintain. Or it could mean keeping state or local rent restrictions in place when a rental property is sold. Every year, America loses 65,000 affordable rental housing units. That's enough to house 169,000 people, more people that live in Pasadena, California, or Syracuse, New York. So we have to act. And in order to do so, we're going to ask ourselves a series of questions. First, how can we double down on what we do best and improve how we currently finance rent-restricted properties so that it's more affordable and extends the property's useful life? Second, how can we help owners save money by making their properties more energy efficient? And finally, how can we find the people who are already working to keep homes affordable and then help them do more? So that's affordable preservation. Now, some of the most difficult affordable housing challenges are found in our rural markets. 94 of the nation's 100 poorest counties are in rural America, including Native American lands. Now, making it easier for private capital to work in rural markets is extra challenging because it's hard to build the scale and standardization needed to make it easier for private markets to invest. So, spread throughout these 94 counties, there's about 500,000 households. That's roughly the same number as you would find in a city like Jacksonville, Florida. So I get in my car and I could drive around Jacksonville in a couple of hours. If I were to try to do the same thing for these 94 counties, it would take me a month. So there's no scale in rural markets. And without scale, it's extremely hard to manage costs and standardize your approach. And that makes it hard to attract private investment. We're not yet sure how we can address these challenges, especially in counties that are burdened by chronic poverty. But we're going to find a way. We're going to learn more. We'll build partnerships with institutions that can help bring us the scale that we need. And we're going to invest more of our resources.
We all have a duty to serve. We don't want to sit idly by when there are people that don't have access to affordable housing, when their housing choice is literally a choice between shelter and a regular meal. So our company is embarking on a journey to address these three markets we've talked about. And it's not going to be easy. There are reasons why these three markets are underserved. And overcoming those barriers is going to be a huge challenge. But solving great challenges requires great innovation, an unrelenting commitment, a belief that we will succeed. But it also requires the humility to know that we can't do this alone. We need great partners. We've seen amazing innovation in the last decade. We're Americans. We are not afraid of change. So I call on everyone, if you're thinking about using your talents and passion to make a difference, consider these challenges that we're facing. You just might have the next great idea that revolutionizes housing. With the right partnerships, I truly believe that we will advance this vision of safe and affordable housing for everyone.